your offer needs to be unique to stand out amongst thousands, or in OnlyFans case, 2.1 million other creators. And we need to figure out a way to do that. So that's really what we're going to focus on in this space, how to have a unique offer and how to actually create one. Welcome back to On the Horizon. This is MelRose Michaels. I am your host, and I'm here to share what's worked for me in building my adult creator business to try to make building yours just a little bit easier. Let's get into today's episode. Who misses free and affordable ads without the anti-sex work rhetoric? Assembly 4 is a team of sex workers and technologists from Melbourne, Australia, aiming to bring back free and fair advertising to the sex work community. They also give back to organizations based in harm reduction, sex work, and education. Stepping away from the clunky design of traditional platforms, their platform, Tris.link, is a refreshing and well-needed change in both presentation and mission. It's free to join and open to all. In the words of an A4 user, from the policies to the language to the advice and tips, it makes such a big difference to feel supported and encouraged instead of policed. Hello, everyone. This week's topic is why you need a unique offer as an adult content creator and how to make one. So as an adult content creator in today's really, competitive online world, it's going to be essential to stand out from the crowd and kind of stand out from all the other creators doing similar things. So if you think about it, there's over 2.1 million creators on just OnlyFans alone. And we need to stand out from that crowd, as massive as it is, no matter which adult platform you call home. So even though 2.1 million is for OnlyFans and maybe they're not all adult, not all explicit, that kind of gives you just a general idea of the marketplace when a fan is subscribing to you versus subscribing to another adult creator. So one of the best ways to differentiate yourself is by having a unique offer that sets you apart from others in your niche. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's define exactly what an offer is, because I think that's kind of a business term that gets thrown around, and I want to really break it down into something tangible everyone who's listening is going to be able to grasp and really utilize. So no matter what business you're in, if you're selling something to anyone, you need an offer. So that's baseline. So an offer is defined as a proposal or a suggestion made by one party to another with the intention of reaching an agreement or a transaction. So an offer typically outlines the terms of a proposal or deal or exchange, including what the offering party is willing to provide and what the receiving party is expected to do in return. So that's the by definition. But because that's pretty technical, let's remix it into just content creator terms, right? So for an adult creator, an offer could be a proposal to provide exclusive or extra content or services to subscribers in exchange for a fee for the subscription. So for example, an adult content creator would offer a monthly subscription that includes access to, let's say, daily posts or behind the scenes content or one-on-one virtual or video chats. And that offer provides value to the subscriber by giving them an exclusive access to content and experiences with that creator that they otherwise wouldn't have. So that is an offer. So everyone with a subscription or a fan site, they have an offer. Everyone selling clips, that is a different offer. But anytime you're making a transaction or attempting to sell something, you're starting with an offer. So the subscriber in return is going to pay a fee to access that exclusive content, and then the creator benefits by earning, steady income from their subscribers. So this exchange represents a very clear and mutually beneficial offer. If you're enjoying this podcast episode so far, please take one moment to share it with another one of your adult content creator friends, because you know what the rule is here. We do not gatekeep, and we want to make as many adult creators' businesses as easy as possible. And you sharing this episode with them might do exactly that. Thanks so much in advance. Now, I know what you guys listening are probably thinking, you have a subscription price on a fan site, therefore you have an offer, which is true. You do. But yours has to stand out next to hundreds of thousands, or in OnlyFans case, 2.1 million, other creators who also have a subscription price as their offer. So your offer needs to be unique to stand out amongst that crowd. And we need to figure out a way to do that. So that's really what we're going to focus on in this space, is how to have a unique offer and how to actually create one. So a unique offer can help you build, a loyal following, attract new customers, and grow your brand. And today what I really want to do is explain why you need a unique offer, and then also help you provide tips and like takeaways so you can actually think about this, logistically on your own and then create one. So I really want to make sure people understand this because it took me a long time to really sort this out myself. And it's made all the difference, I think. So why you need a unique offer? Obviously, you want to be different. You got to stand out. With so many creators vying for attention, having a unique offer is going to help differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack. So it's going to be what gives you an edge in the marketplace and makes you more memorable for your target audience. But there's other benefits to this. So this is the only one we spoke on so far in this space, but I really need to drive this point home. If you have the same subscription price as everyone else, you list the same things you offer in your bio, you have a profile picture that looks like the next girl's profile picture, your offer is not going to stand out. And this is important. The other benefit of having a unique offer is because you can increase the value. So by offering something that other creators don't, you can increase the perceived value of what you're doing or your work. So this can lead to higher sales, obviously, because it's a higher price point, higher value, and increased customer loyalty. So for example, if your offer includes something time intensive, right? Like cosplay is you have to make the costume, you have to do the makeup, you have to make a set. Usually there's a lot that gets involved in something like cosplay. I'm trying to use an example everyone will probably understand. So with cosplay, you can charge a higher price because you're letting your subscriber know that your content has to do with cosplay, which is costly and it takes more production value. But without including unique words and setting that expectation for your offer, your sub price, whatever you might be pricing it at, it's not going to feel justified to the user and it could be costing you actual sales. Because if you're not emphasizing in your offer that I'm a cosplay creator and then I put all this work into this thing, they're not going to understand why you're trying to charge $24.99 a month versus another creator charging $9.99 a month. So you have to kind of make sure that you're explaining why yours is more valuable, why your value is increased, and including copy like talks about cosplay, talks about what makes your offer special is going to help to increase that value. And now the third part of this, which is a unique benefit, is brand building. A lot of creators, I don't think, really think too much about how this plays into your offer. A unique offer is a great way to build your brand and establish yourself in a niche. So it shows that you're innovative and willing to go above and beyond to provide value to your customers. And again, we can use this cosplay example since most people really relate to that or understand what cosplay looks like and how that business model works. But if you're building a brand around cosplay, it's important to mention that in your offer so that when fans think of you, the creator, they also think of the brand and then the content associated with you. So like most creators, when they think about the MelRose Michaels brand, right? My brand, they're thinking redhead, vanilla content, girl next door. That's really what my brand is. That's what it's shaped up to be. And then the secondary thing they're going to think about is probably gaming because of how I doubled down on that last year. If you Google my brand, MelRose Michaels, I come up listed as a gamer, which is weird, but sure, because it's not my main thing, but I'll take it. So now that I have those elements, I know what my brand looks like, and I can work those elements into my offer of why you're going to pay X and why, because maybe my unique offer is I'm a gaming OnlyFans model that actually sells sessions where you can control my toy while I'm gaming. So that's a unique offer. Other creators might not be doing that. It's a great way for me to stand out and differentiate my brand. So now that you know these three elements that are value adds to having a unique offer, you're obviously going to stand out. You're going to have differentiation. You're going to have increased value because your offer states why it should be at a certain price point and it really outlines that expectation. And then it's going to build your brand. If you have a good offer, it's going to reflect the kind of brand you're building, the kind of creator you are, and also the kind of content they can expect to see associated with you. So now this is going to bring us to exactly how to make the unique offer. One part that I really am going to harp on, this first bullet point, this is huge. This is something I see so many creators missing, and I really want to make sure you guys think carefully and intentionally about this because it'll make a difference, is knowing your target audience. So it really never ceases to amaze me that creators new and old haven't spent that much time thinking about their audience. So consider this. If I ran my Sexwork CEO Twitter accounts or my social accounts for Sexwork CEO, but I spoke to you, the audience of creators, in the same way that I speak to fans on my MelRose Michaels socials, these pages wouldn't be growing the way they are because I'm not speaking to the right audience. I'm not using the right tone. I'm not using the right verbiage because my audience is different. So it always fascinates me too because I see a lot of creators actually tag Sexwork CEO and stuff, the Twitter page, to promote their OnlyFans and add their OnlyFans links. But those creators are missing the point that our audience is of other creators, not people who are likely to subscribe, not people who are likely to go and follow other creators. it's an audience of creators versus an audience of fans. So really knowing your audience as a creator in the details is going to go a long way. So this is because the audience of creators, everything I do with this company is focused on helping creators and solving creator, problems creators face and serving creators. So when you're on your socials and you're talking to your audience of fans, that audience is going to look vastly different for each individual creator. So you really need to take time to look at your data. So this is your fan site data, this is your social media data, your interactions and how you engage with people in comments and in back and forth conversations on Twitter. Really see what you want to attract, one, to build your brand, because that's going to add to your brand identity, but also to get to know who your unique audience is, because that's going to dictate how you speak to them and how to them effectively. So if you don't know who you're talking to, it's very hard to get a point across or to make a sale or to have sales copy that's going to work because you don't know who you're talking to. So to create a unique offer that resonates with your target audience, you really need to understand their desires and their needs. So like what problems they face. An example of this is like, maybe you have a disproportionate amount of audience that's looking for sex advice because part of your brand is that you openly talk about sex ed or, sex education. If you're a creator that does that, and I see a lot of creators doing this, like kind of giving advice in this way, that's a different audience that you're going to attract. You're going to attract, fans and regular, the horny guys, I'm sure, but you're also going to attract fans who are interested in being better lovers or being better performers, who are interested in the sex advice that you're sharing. So what do they value? Maybe that audience, or what does your audience value? So even if you don't give out sex advice, maybe your brand is very humorous. Maybe you're really funny tweets or you're big on memes, and that's built into your brand because that's what you're producing and publishing and putting out there. So what does your audience value? Maybe that audience values humor, and then they want to stick with you and be loyal to you because you keep them laughing. So that audience would value humor over the sex advice, for example. And unless you know, based on the content you're putting out, the audience you're attracting and the audience you're actively engaging with and getting feedback from them, you're not going to know what your audience values or what problems they're facing that you're solving as a byproduct of how you're being a creator online. What does your audience want to achieve? That's something else to consider. So like the obvious answer here is to come. Yeah, we all know that. That's why they're here. That's why they're subscribing. But they might also be seeking other things. So what else could they want to achieve? Maybe they're seeking connection. And do you provide that? Maybe they're seeking like a more companionship type of experience. And do you provide that? So if you are, like maybe you're advertising with words and phrases like digital girlfriend experience. So these are things to consider, because if you say digital girlfriend experience and that's a service you're offering on your fan sites or in your, Sex Panther texting back and forth or whatever platform you're using, unless you are building that into your offer, you're not going to attract that fan base that you want that's going to buy that thing. So really knowing your audience is so important. And I think at a baseline, we all just assume our audience is, a male demographic primarily that is into this kind of content. But you should really think carefully and try to go deeper on that, because if you can pinpoint those other things, if they value humor, if they value companionship, if they value sex education, whatever other variables, there's more than just those three. There's a wide gamut of things you can be offering that you might not even realize you're offering when you put out content, that you're attracting an audience that values those things. And you can incorporate that on the paywall side as well. So once you have a clear understanding of your target audience, you can create an offer that specifically targets them and meets their needs and provides real value. So let me think about this. So if you have a clear understanding of your target audience and they value humor, you can create an offer in terms of like how you optimize your profile on OnlyFans or whatever fan site to read that says, not only do I keep you coming every day, but I'll keep you laughing as well. So now you're differentiating yourself because you're funny and you're witty, and they're going to have a good experience that's going to leave them feeling happy and lighthearted and what have you. That makes your offer slightly more unique than the other creator that lists, I do JOI, fetish, boy girl, voyeur, things like that on their profile. Because almost every creator offers a variety of similar things like that. So having something that's going to set you apart because you know your audience and what they're looking for and niching down in that way is going to go so far for creating a good, unique offer. Something else you can do is offer something unique. So think outside the box in terms of what you come up with that sets you apart from others in your niche. So this could be a special product, a special service, or a special experience that you provide. Something I saw very recently that I just thought was the fucking coolest was a creator I was engaging with via Twitter on Sex and CEO, because I had saw that they actually were extremely talented artists, and they would do these sketches of dick ratings that their fans were paying for that experience to have their dick pic essentially sketched and have that sketch coincide with the rating they provided. That is such a unique service and product to add to that creator's fan page or subscription site. So like thinking of things outside of the box like that are going to set your offer apart from others in your niche, because almost every creator nowadays is offering dick ratings. And that is the first time I've ever seen a creator offer to do artistry and sketch around something like that, which is such a cool experience. So offering something unique and trying to think outside of the realm of what you've seen on your Twitter feed from other creators or what you've seen commonly done from other creators, that could be the thing that really sets you apart and makes you stand out and also makes you hella revenue. So consider thinking outside of what you're familiar with and create a unique piece to your offer. So this could even be like a new approach to solving a problem and delivering value. So maybe you put out your content regularly, but you're going to do that sex advice thing. So maybe you're active on TikTok and you give out sex advice, or I know Ginger Binks does a lot of that, which is really impressive, sex education. But you could be doing that on the back end as, hey, if you want sex advice in DMs, tip me $27.99 and we can have a 10-minute discussion on a topic sexually that you want advice on. That can be a unique piece to your offer that makes you stand out, niches you down, also is a complete umbrella over your brand, is something that makes you stand out and is associated with your brand and your content that sets you apart. So whatever it is, making sure it's unique and it offers real value to your target audience. So again, unless you know who your audience is, you're not going to know how to offer real value to them. So you have to kind of start there. This third point is to create a sense of urgency. So this is more on the sales side. So to drive sales and encourage people to take action, creating a sense of urgency around your offer. So for example, you could limit the number of available slots to something or offer a time-sensitive discount or create a limited time offer. So the same approach should also be taken with like PPVs or interactions you're having on your fan site DMs. Using copy, that is a great way to do this. So like adding to a PPV message, this message self-destructs in 24 hours, so get it while you can, will add that sense of urgency to whatever you're offering. So I guess too, I should clarify, having a unique offer is what your fan is purchasing when they subscribe to your site. What makes it stand out? What's special about your fan site? What experience you're providing? That's one offer. You can also think about what you offer below that, under that umbrella in your DM. So this is where that sense of urgency can be built in. You can even build it into your subscription too, saying like only the first, 10 subscribers are getting this price point, or the first 10 subscribers get a 30-day discount or what have you. You can build it into your page offer, your actual fan site offer. You could also build it into your DMs for a sales approach that's going to increase your sales. Oftentimes, if I make a really good piece of content, I will send it out in a mass DM on OnlyFans, and on my, usually just OnlyFans is my primary place, but I can also unsend that on that platform. So I can tell them it's going to expire. It won't be available tomorrow. I can say that I'm going to unsend this message or this content after it gets 10 unlocked to create a sense of urgency, so they know that, oh my God, if I'm not one of the first 10 people, I'm not going to see this. And what that does too, it puts it out there, it makes better sales because of the sense of urgency. And if you really do unsend it, and you really kind of train your audience that if you say you're unsending something or it's not going to be there, it's really going to be gone, that will only make them act faster the next times you do it. Because there is really a science where you can train your audience to engage with you on platforms how you'd like them to. So consider that and how you can create senses of urgency, whether it be in PPV, whether it be on posts, and whether it be in your bio or your subscription itself, saying that it's only available to a limited number of people or a limited time. And then this fourth part about creating your offer is to test and iterate. This is the part that no one wants to hear about. This is the part that is literally the boring work, but it's the work that makes the difference. So once you've created your unique offer and you have this thing that stands out, sets you apart from other creators, it's very clearly stated in your bio on your fan site, you tweet about it because people that follow you on social associate that offer with your brand. They're gonna think of you, and they're gonna think of your brand, and they're gonna think of that offer and that kind of content all in one kind of swoop because you've built it that way. So once you have this unique offer, it is now your mission to test it and gather feedback using the data that your platform, whatever it might be, provides you. So when you're testing your new offer, you're going to write out like a short form version of your offer to use it for your subscription area on your fan site, like where they actually click subscribe. There's like a little text box there where you can write about what they get for subscribing. You can have a short form version of your offer for that little subscribe area. And then you're going to have a longer form version of your offer in your page bio so that when potential fans read through it, they can be persuaded to subscribe. So you're going to need both the long form of the offer and then the short form version to speak directly to your target audience and explain why you're different and how what you do on your page is unique to anyone else's fan site. So this is the test and iterate page, but before I continue on, I'm actually going to read you what my OnlyFans bio states to give you an idea of what my current offer is and how it's worded in the bio, so you can kind of get an idea of the long form version of this. So first off, in my OnlyFans bio, this is what it reads. Why is it $24.99? Because I post new videos every single night. And that is the first line, because if you get to my OnlyFans, this whole bio section is actually collapsed and only one line of it is readable. So the first thing I'm doing is addressing my price point, because that's going to be the majority of people's issues with subscribing to my page is this price point. And then I followed up with saying, this is why it's that price point. So that's already addressed. Why is it $24.99? Because I post new videos every single night. So if they do open up this bio area to read the rest, this is what they're going to see. They're going to see that it says, I run my page like a premium Snapchat, which means new videos go up 7 days a week, 365 days a year, every day at 7 p.m. TST. Daily shows, photo sets, and audio message replies so you know it's me you're talking to, and more, all included for less than $1 a day subscription price. Every month, with subs with Rebel on, will get randomly selected to win a prize, plus discounts on sexting sessions, dick ratings, custom content, and more, as well as the opportunity to control my toys when I'm filming shows, which means you could be the one making me come tonight. And then it finishes off by saying, I can't wait to get to know you. Yours truly, MelRose Michaels. And under that, if you check out my OnlyFans bio at some point, you'll also see it says expect to see. And then it says a bunch of words. So it says natural redhead, toy control, lush, lesbian, JOI, blowjob, girl next door, sexting, video calls, dick ratings, big tits, whatever. It says like all of these things. A lot of creators are overlooking that this bio area on your OnlyFans is keyword SEO optimized. So if a fan or a user, I guess, is just Googling around looking for someone that's a redhead, that does JOIs and sexting, because I have those keywords in my profile will rise to the top of that search engine, maybe not first or second, but it'll rise up there because I have these keywords at the bottom of my profile. So that's something to consider as well for your long form of your offer. So I just want to point out in my offer, I address the price point because that's going to be the pain point for the client, the fan, that they need to overcome. Why is it this price? Because I do this every single day. And then I explain why I'm different. I'm different because I run my page like a premium Snapchat. You get shows every single night, 365 days a year, posted at 7 p.m. So that's why I'm different. And then I also qualify, you're getting the daily shows, photo sets, audio messages, and more, all included for less than $1 a day subscription price. So now they understand my offer, and then I've qualified it like, yeah, remember how we said it was expensive? It's really only less than $1 a day. So I've also made them feel like it's not that expensive. And then below that, I add extended value saying subscribers with Rebel on get discounts on so and so, and the opportunity to win a prize. And then I can't wait to see you and get to know you. Love, Michaels. So that is my offer. It tells you why I'm unique, why I'm priced that way, etc. Now, if you actually look at the purchase offer, the subscription, it gives a shorter version of that same whole spiel. So new shows every single night, subscribe for this price, can't wait to see you, something like that. So a shorter form of the same thing. So you're going to have two variations, a long form, a short form, and the short form is going to be almost like an elevator pitch of sorts. So now back to the point of testing and iterating. Once you've got that offer established, you're going to use that offer for 30 days, and then you're going to watch your analytics to see how many subscribers you're getting in that time frame. So you're going to see, have they increased since the last 30 days? If not, you're going to make changes and improvements to your offer and the language you even used. Like sometimes just changing the copy makes it impeccably better. And then you're going to test it for another 30 days and see if that offer resonates with your target audience and provides real value. Also, you can literally use your offer and rework it for social media, depending on the language you use, so in TikTok, Reels, etc. So you're going to have this offer so down pat that it's like a personal elevator pitch as to why someone would subscribe to you. So once you've got it locked down and it's into this perfect like pitch kind of statement, you can implement it and test and iterate. This is the part that people get stuck on, is everyone gets to this point, they've created the offer, they've done something, they meet their unique, they know how to produce great content, they're thriving, but they don't test to see if it works, because I cannot tell you how many times I have come up with this fantastic idea in my head and put it out into the world and it just flopped because I was wrong. And I am wrong a lot of the time. And the only reason I know that is because I test, the market tells me I'm wrong, and then I pivot. But if you're not testing and measuring the actual data that comes back to you in the form of feedback, fan comments, the actual analytics on your fan sites, you're just doing the same thing that's not working. And you don't want to do that for a long period of time because you're not going to see growth and you're not going to see that trending upward in terms of revenue and so on. So just to recap this part, a unique offer is essentially for any adult content creator looking to stand out in today's online world, and you're going to need to know your target audience, offer them something unique, and then create a sense of urgency around it, put it into place, test it, and then retest it until you find that you're in a sweet spot and it's working. And then when you create this offer that sets you apart from others in your niche, it's going to help you grow your brand and attract new customers just as a byproduct. Because once you've got the offer so solid, you're going to actually start to attract people who are looking for that thing you're providing because you've been clear and you've communicated it effectively. And a lot of creators just aren't out there doing that. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to or speak to you, I guess, about today. And aside from just dissecting your offer, I do also want to mention that this is going to take time. Like I said, test it for 30 days. I think that's the bare minimum, testing something for 30 days and then changing it. The better tests with better data are going to be more like 60 and 90 days. I don't think the average creator has the patience for that. I don't typically have the patience for that. I'm only testing things for 60, 90-day periods when I really feel it's super necessary. So I do want to mention that. So it looks like we have a question or a request. I want to bring up Joy Blue to speak. Let me add you as a speaker. We've got Foot Queen here. It's connecting. So you're available to speak as well, Foot Queen.
In this space. I see a lot of my buddies in this space. I'm so glad that we're getting this knowledge. I wanted to ask your advice as a foot model. So the foot industry or foot models when it comes to running OnlyFans pages is pretty generic. I've started networking with people in sex work, and that's where I get all the tips and the knowledge and stuff like that at. So when it comes to offering my customer something, which is something I wanted to do, right? I've been uploading on my OnlyFans. It's just been kind of like a side hustle for me. I never really thought of it or treated it like a business. So I had it at a low subscription price and I would post frequently because feet people like a lot of different things. Like I can't just post one thing. I can't just post boy or girl. Some people like smelly feet. Some people like high heels. So I was constantly pumping out something that resonated with my audience for a low price. But recently I kept the price low and I post only 3 times a week videos, and now I pay per view. So I've been noticing like the more taboo stuff or the stuff that I put money behind, not just posting my phone against the wall and making a foot video, they've been eating it up. So now I see, okay, well, my audience is willing to pay for a lot of this fucking content. So I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, so how can I continue to maximize on these guys that are here? Like, should I do some type of, like, what are some tipping games that I can do? Maybe I can do something like that. Or I'm trying to figure out what else I can do to make them spend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's a really good point that you make too, is that obviously as creators, you can only make so much content. Like that's the reality. We're one person most of the time, or one couple, or one partner, scene. But pumping out content to cater to every portion of your audience can be such an overwhelming feat. Pun intended. But the one thing I would say is that there's a big missed opportunity in DMs and PPV. I'm noticing now that I've kind of started offering mentorship that there's a common thread amongst the creators who have like opened up their pages to me and so I can help them, is that the PPVs aren't being maximized. And that is such a loss for me, because I'll tell you, like, out of my page, 90% of my money comes from the PPVs, not the subscriptions and not the tips and messages. It's just from unlocking. But I think the caveat to that, and I'll answer your question more specifically too, but the caveat to that isn't that I'm sending out a lot of mass message PPVs. It's actually that I'm doing one-on-one PPVs per user, so that each user feels like they're getting their own unique experience with me. Because when you send out a mass message, most users know. But when I'm like, say I'm talking to a fan in DM and I'm starting a sexting session with them, well, I have pre-made sexting session photo and video clip sets that morning that I'm using with that fan to make him or her feel like it's happening in real time. And it's a very personalized one-on-one experience. So you could definitely apply something like that to foot fetish, where it's like maybe, one morning you make I'm calling them sexting sets, but anyone could call them what they want. And if they were feet-based, I'm sure there'd be something else. But where it feels like it's a individual experience for that fan. So like if I was doing that, for example, what I would do, because when I make sexting sets, they're so easy. This is not like a hour filming expedition. This is like, it's a safe for work selfie. It's a non-safe for work selfie, topless. It's maybe like a booty pic and then pantyless booty pic. And then it's like a minute clip of like showing my boobs, showing my ass, showing my pussy, whatever it is. Ultimately, it'll be like fingering or a toy or whatever, just for the climax of the sexing session. But you can apply the same philosophy and get all the content in maybe 10 to 20 minutes to do something around your fetish or whatever kind of content you make. So if I were you, say I would start making these sets every day, a different set every day. And then you're just going to have this library of individual content that fan is going to think is just for them, being made in real time, and that you're giving them this crazy experience other creators are not going to take the time to provide. So like, say you get up tomorrow and you film a set, easy content set around feet. So maybe you start with nylons on and high heels and you're dancing. And then in the next minute, a couple photos, just regular photos. Then next ones will be clips and you're dancing. So you're showing off the nylons, you're showing off the heels. The next clip is you slowly removing the heels, showing your feet, your soles in the nylons. The next clip is you slowly unrolling the nylon, showing your bare feet and bare soles. The next clip is you adding lotioning up or baby oil like on your feet. And then the final clip is like you with like a realistic toy jerking off with your feet. Like that could be a whole set. And that's around just one part of one thing a foot fetish fan is going to like, is the heels, the nylons, the oil, what have you. And then you have that in your library to use multiple times with multiple other people in a one-on-one way to have them unlocking. Because I'll start my photos, for example, as like a $3.99 unlock for not the safe for work selfie. I always do for free because that's like a hook. It gets them interested and feels like it's a real interaction in real time. And then the second thing I'll set is the non-safe for work for like $3.99. And then when I get to the clips, it's $4.99. I get to more explicit clips, it's $6.99. And before they realize it, that fan and that one interaction on one day has spent $30-something in DMs having an experience they feel is catered specifically to them. And then you still have that content bank to do the same thing to another fan. And that's what I would do.
Oh, okay. So when I send out, though, the stuff that you just said, I don't send it as a mass message. I send it individually to one person.
Yes. What you could do if you like to just increase the volume is send like the safe for work picture as a mass, so that they get is a mass message out for free. And then all of the people that respond to it who are actively online, you start selling them the rest of the set one-on-one.
Oh, that is so smart. Okay. All right. So that's some good games. I'm trying to milk you for all I got right now. Okay. So we got that.
That's all right.
And yeah, I didn't do pay-per-view, and I was very against pay-per-view because I felt like, they're already paying. I don't want to bother them. I felt like that I would be looked at as a scammer, or I would be looked at as, whatever the case may be, by charging a price and then selling them. So I was doing this very low subscription price and giving them more than what they were paying for in hopes that they would stay around because I didn't want to lose anybody. And then I finally got to the point where I'm like, I'm burning myself the fuck out. Fuck all of this fucking shit. Like, y'all are here for a reason because nobody can give you what the fuck I can give you. I'm the queen of feet for a fucking reason. Like, you're here, you're not going anywhere. So I'm about to make my fucking coin. And I had to realize, like, these people that are here are people that are willing to pay because they paid to get up in this bitch. And they want to pay for what they fucking want. So yes, baby, I'm telling you, if anybody's on the fence about it, I would do it. I mean, I have doubled, and I've only been doing it for 3 weeks. I have doubled in money since I lowered my entry price and then did the pay-per-view. And I don't even send that many pay-per-views. Like, the last 3 weeks, I've only sent like maybe 2 or 3 a week, and it's already doubled my income. They unlock that shit like fucking crazy. Oh, Goddess, can you make one? Or where's this video? Are you gonna send it to the DM? And I'm like, damn. So y'all waiting on me to send shit to the DM. Okay. Okay. So I'm excited.
You know what? No, that's amazing. And that's great. I fucking love early success is so inspiring because it keeps motivating you to continue down this path. And a lot of creators don't get that privilege. Like, it's hard at first for a lot of people. So I'm so happy to hear that you've had that experience. But something else you can do that I think would be interesting for you, and this is something I do personally. I don't encourage most creators to run their page like I do because I'm very content heavy. I come from a premium Snapchat background, so I can create a lot of content and overproduce. That's just what I'm used to. But that's not the baseline. Like, that people shouldn't be striving to that. So with that being said, something any creator could do is if you do charge a low entry price and you have a free page, there's 2 pieces to this. So first off, free pages can make a lot of money if people really monetize the PPVs and the DMs. So keep that in mind for if you're listening and you do have a free page and a paid page. I think in the future, free pages actually will be the better business model long term. and because you can monetize them so heavily in DM. So that's a caveat. But what I was going to say is that something I've been doing with my page, because I have so much content on the feed, and it's a high subscription price, right? $25 is a high price compared to other creators. And they're willing to pay it because of the value of content on the feed included. But I'm still monetizing and upselling in DMs because really the people join your page for two things. They join for the content at the sub price and they're never going to spend another dime. Or they're joining for the sub price and they don't know what else you offer unless you tell them, which is why I need to sell them at PPVs. And then this is what makes it special. So on my feed, even though I'm putting out 30 shows a month, one a day for 30 days, the way I do is I have a trailer and I have the show. I have other stuff, a photo set, whatever, but that's besides the point. When I have the trailer hypes them up for the show gets posted an hour later. At the end of the month, I go back in my my feed, I delete all the full-length videos, but I leave up only the trailers, and I edit the captions to say, if you want to see this full video, DM me and I'll send it to you. And then once the month is over, they get that video if they ask me for it for full price in DMs to unlock, because that month I'm putting out 30 new videos in my feed. So if they don't actually come to me in DMs and pay to have that purchased in DMs, they will lose access to it after 30 days. And that's something any creator can do with their content on the feed.
That is an amazing idea. I want to ask you, what do you think about this thing that I've been preaching on for a while and something I'm actively doing? I have a lot of content, probably not consider a lot of content, someone like you, but I had over 500 videos, full-length videos, my beautiful artwork on my profile, and all of these pictures. And I decided to go through and delete most of it. And the reason being is that, first of all, I personally feel like I don't want everybody having access to all of my shit for that low of a price. All of this beautiful stuff that I've created over the last few years for a low price. Second of all, I don't like my shit to be leaked like that. So I feel like now in the times where people can download a fucking extension and go to your OnlyFans and zip all your fucking content, I don't want somebody to be profiting off of my entire portfolio. So I think I'm going to only keep up maybe 100 videos.
Mm-hmm. So there's two things I caution about that, because one thing that also helps convert users, so like when they go to your OnlyFans, for example, they can usually see at the top of your page how many posts you have. And having more posts will make it more appealing to subscribe. So while I do agree with deleting stuff that you don't want out there, because piracy is a real thing, that's a real issue, especially if you don't have a piracy component to your business. I do have a DMCA company I work with. I highly suggest everyone does. I think it's fundamental to your business, because if they can go Google it and find it, they're not going to subscribe. But the other piece is, if you can, so something I've done, for example, with like explicit photo sets that I put up on my feed, when I go back in my month, I'll delete the explicit ones. I'll leave up the safe for work ones. And something I do on my free page is I'll post the explicit photo, but I actually censor like my tits or whatever is explicit about it with a screenshot of a review from a fan. So a testimonial of them saying how great my page is, my VIP page. I will use that and paste it over my photo to censor it, and I'll leave that up. So they're not really getting to see the real thing. They're getting a censored version of it that also tells them how great my page is as a byproduct. And I'll leave up the post so that my post number stays high, because that's going to convert more subscribers.
Okay. So some of the videos that I took down, I started to pay-per-view them if people wanted it. So I call it like my vault, because a lot of people that subscribe to me, they've been subscribed for a while. And so they've seen the video before, but the new people don't see the video. So I decided to repost it as something new in the pay-per-view and charge them full price for it to recycle the post.
Mm-hmm. No, that's perfectly fine. And something else you can do, this is a fun thing that I've been doing too, and fans actually like it. There's this kind of loophole on OnlyFans where you post something in the feed, they can see it, whatever. But if they say you don't delete your feed like I do, and stuff like that, it's probably like 6 months back, that one video they really like, but they want you to send it into DMs to them. So what I'll do is actually, it's in the copy and the captions of my post during the month when the content's available during the month, it's still in the feed. In the caption of my post, it'll say, if you want to save this video to your purchase section in your account, and as a user's account on OnlyFans, tell me, comment on this post, and I will send it to you for the lowest unlock price, which is $3, so that you have it saved in your purchase section and you don't have to scroll back through the feed for it. And then, so that's one hack that gets more sales in DMs, because you're selling a convenience, so they don't have to go hunting for this thing. A lot of fans will pay for that convenience. A lot of fans now request that I send them lots of shit in DMs because they don't want to go hunting for it. And then if it's for me, because I do delete off my feed, if it's no longer on the feed, when they request it in DMs, they don't get that $3 unlock price. They pay full price for it. And all my fans understand that because that's what I've set them up and kind of trained them to interact with on this page, because that's the experience I've decided to provide them. So you can also just pay to have that convenience and be like, hey, I know you really liked that video that I posted 6 months ago. I'm sure you're tired of scrolling up on OnlyFans. We all know this fucking page doesn't load. So why don't I send it to you for a $3 unlock? And you'll have it in your purchase section. You'll never need to look for it again. You can do things like that as well.
Okay. All right. So what I think I'm going to start doing is deleting some of the videos, but posting at the same time. So the what do you call it? So the number stays high. The number stays high.
Another trick too is instead of posting photo sets that they have to scroll through, is post the photos to your feed individually, because it'll raise your post count.
Oh, that's so smart. That is smart. Okay, let me see what else I have to say, because I don't see anybody else's. Is anybody else waiting on the mic? I don't want to hog the road.
We got 2 more requests.
Okay, well, I'll go down. Thank you so much, MelRose.
You're welcome. If you think of something, just let me know. I'll bring you back up. I'm going to bring it back over to Joy Blue. It looks like you requested again. Let me add you. Hey, Joy, can you hear me?
Continue on from what Foot Queen was saying, actually, with regard to kind of upselling. So I'm quite, I'm a night flirt girl, phone sex girl as well.
Okay, nice.
So I can't quite get onto Sixpanther yet, being in the UK, unfortunately. I'm desperately trying to get on. But what I do in chat, Foot Queen, is I upsell whilst I'm in chat on Night Flirt. So I will get my boys up to a point. So obviously, Joy, I'm into Joy, obviously. But I do a good line in feet and stockings, etc. as well. And what I do is I get my boys worked up to a certain point on chat. And then I'll go away and I'll record like 20, 30-second, literally audio clip. And I'll sell it to them pay-per-view for like $10, $20. And they'll buy it because they're so worked up. And then they'll come back and then they'll be hot. And then they'll come to me. And then I'll send another. And I can send like 2 or 3 of those, maybe more, in a chat. Just keep building and denying, as it were. So that might be something to do as well. I just wanted to share it. I didn't want to gatekeep that information that I had, and something that's actually worked for myself.
Definitely. No, I love that. I think actually audio, sorry if you guys hear my cat meowing. The audio part of the fan site features is so underused. I sell custom audios all the time. It is like a huge part of my business. And also I put out a lot of free audio, because if you understand that fans are always, so you got to overcome the objections of fans, right? So they're going to object to whatever you charge on your price point just to be subscribed. They're going to object to whatever you're selling reviews. They're going to have an objection because if you don't establish a value to it, they're not going to see why it's worth unlocking. But that being said, fans have, and they do place a lot of value on voice messages in DMs because they want to know that they're legitimately chatting with the model they think they are. So that alone is enough value to sell audio messages. Because if you can give a fan and prove to them that the person on the other end isn't, an agency chat team or what have you, by giving them an audio message, they will open up their wallet as a byproduct, because now they trust you and you've built rapport with them. So the audio is a great thing to bring up. I'm so glad you spoke to it, because it's so important to the business. Even if it's not your thing, even if you're not like a voice kind of, creator, just incorporating that. Even if you're a foot fetish creator, voice goes so far. It's so intimate. It gives so much validity to what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing. Especially with audio, you can be so descriptive with it. You can be so descriptive and sexy with it. And that in itself can sell.
Absolutely.
One thing,
definitely.
One thing I wanted to just ask you. I've just opened my OnlyFans again. I kind of backed out when it all kind of like went tits up a little while ago, but I've just rejoined again, and I just don't know how to go about it with regards to clips. So, I mean, what's best to do? I mean, do I put my full clip on and like let my subscribers have it for I don't know, an infinite period of time?
Yeah. Or something.
Yeah. Or do I just put a teaser on and just sell it via DM? I just don't know. I don't know.
Can I ask what your sub price is?
I haven't set it at the minute because I'm just coming back to it.
Okay, just getting the feet wet.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like you're primarily like the content you've created is primarily clips. Are you more used to running like fetish and clip
Yeah.
sites, clip stores, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So for a creator like you, there's also another option too. Like I've seen creators that are more clip artists and that's their nature and their background and that's the audience they've built and the fans they create. Something you can do, I think creators don't realize this. This isn't how I run my stuff. How I run my stuff is not necessarily the right way to run things. It's what works for me. But what you can do is you can actually build out your feed to be a clip store. So even if your sub price is 0 and you have no sub price, you can post your clips and have them paywalled. So they have to basically tip or pay to unlock that clip on your feed on a free page. That's how it works. So you can have a title of your clip in the copy, in the caption. You can have a thumbnail of your clip that's obviously safe for work or censored to be safe for work. And you can just have your feed like a clip store where they can just go and unlock the clips as they want, a la carte, whatever. And then after, what I would do if you do choose to run it that way is to pay attention to your notifications tab on OnlyFans, because as soon as you get a notification that someone has tipped to unlock a post, that means it's a hot lead and you should DM them, say 10 minutes, if the video is 10 minutes long, 5 minutes long, whatever, DM them before they have time to watch the full video. And so that they get that DM notification and you can start interacting with them while they're horny, while they're impulsively spending, and then take that and upsell in DMs. So that is one way to kind of transfer the clip store business model onto a free OnlyFans, is to have the posts behind a paywall where they have to pay to unlock the posts on the feed. And then you can pretty much set your feed up like a clip store. If you're going to do that, make sure you take time to add a thumbnail that's like in the free preview area of your post. And you have really good copy that's enticing and seductive to get them to want to purchase.
That makes perfect sense. Thank you so much, because I didn't quite know how I didn't quite know which way to take it, and I've been sitting on it thinking, do I go free? Do I go paid? What do I do? And how do I do the content? Because at the end of the day, they're getting some good stuff for free, and is it forever? Is it? That actually for me makes perfect sense. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And there's other ways you can do it too. Like you could definitely do a sub price, then post everything to the feed and delete it all, delete the full links after, leave the trailers. You could do that model as well, but it depends on how you want to do it. If your audience is trained to clip stores and clip sales, that might be a better approach. Just try to start and test,
Oh, that's perfect. Listen, I'm going to step down. I'm going to let the next person go, but thank you so much. That's invaluable. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. My pleasure. Okay, we've got Andrea. Oh, I love that name. Let me bring you up, Andrea. Welcome.
Hi, can anybody hear me?
Hello there.
Yes, hi. My question is, since I'm a new adult film actress, who also is interested in doing mainstream stuff as well, I'm trying to figure out how to not compartmentalize, but just organize my content, because I want to do some things in terms of like movie reviews, but more reviews about like sex work movies or sex worker focused movies, or mainly, or just like erotic stuff. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, because I'm more of like a writer, how can I organize my content and what would be more appropriate to monetize as I get started?
Okay. First off, I love that the review thing. That's super cool. And that's a great example of making a unique offer, this like cool niche special thing that other creators likely aren't doing. So props to you. That's an awesome offer. And then also, when you're saying organize your content, do you mean like on how you set it up to sell it, or are you talking like organizing it into like a Dropbox so you can find it more easily, or in your vault, or like what do you mean when you say organize?
More the former part, like just trying to figure out how to sell it, because many other screenwriters, they don't really have a whole lot of websites. They just kind of have their social media stuff where you just see their personality and they're just more available for jobs that way. For me, I just want to be a little bit of both. Like I'm able to write, like if they need a script for Lust Cinema, I could do that. Or if they need someone to write and star in the movie, I could do that as well. So it's just trying to just make sense and make dollars off of it at the same time, which is where I'm kind of at with it.
Okay, so it sounds like, so when you're doing the reviews, are you putting them up publicly like on social, or you want those behind a paywall?
I want to, let me do it this way. Like I do want to do reviews that are not paywall, but I guess in terms of like screenplays and film essays that I want to write, I kind of want to paywall them. I just don't know how that would make much sense to do that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And you produce your own content, like regular, like your own adult content on your platform as well, your fan site of choice, right?
Yeah, I'm still trying to get verified. It's just been a very difficult month just trying to get started. I have to pretty much wait until Friday just to even pay for web hosting and all that. So
Okay.
it's just been mostly text for the most part. I have someone interested to shoot content with me. But I'm probably gonna have to let those first scenes or two go on his OnlyFans for the most part, since it's like a collaboration.
Okay, and just make sure you know too when you're doing collaborations, it could be for trade or for not, depending on if you're working on like a production company or studio or what have you. But you can also as a creator, you can negotiate co-licensing your content, which means that you also have the right to share and post it to your fan site or whatever platforms you maintain.
Oh,
So something to consider because I've seen a lot of creators get screwed out of being able to post content because they don't own any rights to it. So something to consider is a co-licensing agreement of content if you want to go that route. That being said, it sounds like you are a prolific writer who's talented and you want that to be part of what you do and part of what you monetize. Something that comes to mind that's interesting to me, and I don't know if this is going to answer your question. This might be a tangent that my brain just took me on, so make sure to bring me back if it's useless. But when you start posting your own content to your platform, it could be a cool lead magnet to review your own videos. So like this is just an idea. You totally don't have to do this. But Twitter, for example, has that audio feature where you can record your voice and put it out in a tweet. I don't know if you've seen that. It's kind of I don't see people using it much, but it does exist. You can almost like watch your video in the background and review it and do a dialogue with it. Or you can do this in a thread, like writing it out on a Twitter thread and review your own film. And then at the end, you could link and say, if you want to watch the video yourself and comment on it, your review, head over to my OnlyFans or whatever your website is, your platform. And then you can almost attract fans that way by reviewing yourself, which basically is just a written expose on what they can expect to see. And you can use that to generate fans towards your paywalls. So that's something unique that could be cool for you to differentiate you and incorporate your writing and your review thing. And then once enough companies and platforms see the way you write, because you're putting out examples, it's basically like almost an entire resume of the way you can write movie reviews. Then you can bring that in the success you've had on bringing fans to a page because of the reviews. You can almost turn around and sell that to platforms and companies like, a browsers or, whatever studios and say that you'll write their reviews and then backlink to their platform to drive traffic back to them. And then that's something you can repackage and sell to the adult industry side while you actually got it working for you to attract fans to your paywalls.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I hope it didn't answer your question at all. I hope
it did, because my whole thing is trying to just bring good sex back to the movies. And yes. I know starting off with porn and with what you just said, that would be a good start seriously for mainstream. Mm-hmm. But with mainstream, I want to make it solid that I'm a reliable writer. Like if you mm-hmm. want to bring back Basic Instinct, if you want to bring back, there is a reliable person who understands how to meet both the commercial need as well as the writing.
Yeah. Have you done a lot of commercial work that you have like a resume built or a portfolio, something that you could submit? Have you done enough of it or are you still building that?
I started to, but then life has interrupted me for 10 years. So
okay, I get it.
I only done like just simple production work for PBS and anything I did for like film school. That's pretty much been my only non-porn related resume at work.
So yeah, it sounds like you could definitely use the benefit of having a larger body of work still in this space. So that might be a really good place to start.
Okay. All right. I'll definitely do that. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And I'll think if I think of anything else in that realm too, I'll definitely reach out because that's something super unique. I don't see a lot of people venturing into that space. I'm sure there's other ways to monetize that I'm just not thinking off the top of my head.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to take up everyone's time as I know probably other people have a lot of questions, but I'll definitely email you more things I do want answered.
Yeah, for sure. Please.
Okay. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm going to bring out Pleasure down real quick. Let me add you as a speaker. And as soon as it connects, you should have the floor. Yeah, you should be good.
Hi. So I was actually asking for input for doing, give me just a moment there. Input for doing, I'm trying to do erotic ASMR.
Oh, nice.
I'm looking for a way to market that or get that out there because from the few clips that I have created, I've had really good responses and I've had women hit me up and like, hey, so I came to you a few times this morning So I'm trying to look for a way to better build that and my basically my image in order to get more get subscribers in general, because I literally just started on OnlyFans and Excite Bunny.
Okay, nice. Oh, I've been hearing the most amazing things about Excite Bunny. Also, I want to look more into them, but I've heard phenomenal things about them so far. First off, your voice is phenomenal. This is definitely something you should be doing. And the thing that, so actually went to my Twitter profile right now, and the biggest thing that I would say could make an immediate improvement towards this is Twitter has that, like I mentioned to the last speaker, Twitter has that audio function. So if I were you, just for advertising, to start getting your brand, one, associated with erotic ASMR, two, attracting an erotic ASMR fan base, etc., is utilizing that Twitter audio function, and then just putting out samples every day, a little sample of, maybe a paragraph that you read of what is essentially erotic ASMR, and publishing it in tweets, so that basically your Twitter becomes a preview of what they can expect to see on your fan site.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I'd start there. I'm sorry, what did you say? Sorry. But yeah, that's where I would start, because I think that audio feature is underused. It'll make you stand out, and then your whole entire profile, more or less, will be kind of like a lead magnet to getting people to your fan site, and then it gives them a sample of what they can expect to see or hear.
Okay, because what I've been doing is I got somebody who actually makes songs for me or background music, and I just basically go into my erotic fantasies and things like that, and I'll put one of my videos in particular, I had someone, I took a video of raindrops on the window, going down the window, and he added some thunder and rain and whatnot, and just had me talking over it, and basically doing my fantasy that way. And so me and him have a deal of like 10 to 15 sounds in order for me to be able to loop them and continue to do the same thing over and over.
Okay, that's perfect. No, I think that's a great place to start. And it's something, again, that's a really unique offer. That's something a lot of people aren't doing. So I think you're right place. You got a cool market fit. You have a unique offer. I would just make sure you're using that audio feature to advertise it, because that's going to build not only the fan base, but it's also putting out samples of your work. I would imagine at some point other people would start reaching out to you and also asking you to do voiceover work for them, or incorporating your voice. Like, for example, I'm a solo creator, so I don't ever have any element of a man in any of my content. I'm solo or girl. But like, for example, if I had found your page and I could hear your audio samples, I could DM you and message you, be like, hey, could I pay you, however much money to read the scripts that I can utilize your voice in my content to bring an element of a man into my content. So that's another avenue that you could be monetizing as well. But you have to build up the portfolio outwardly with like the audio tweets to kind of put that out there, so that people will approach you for those things too. So it's just a matter of kind of making it a part of your brand outwardly and giving those samples out for sure. I think that's going to be kind of the lever to pull that's going to get you the most ROI.
Okay. Also, what would you recommend, or how long would you recommend my clips be for? I heard y'all talking about the walls and whatnot. For my snippets, how long do you think those snippets should be of my sessions of the ASMR? Because they usually run about, we'll say, like 7 or 8 minutes.
7 or 8 minutes. So you're talking about on the paywall side, on the OnlyFans feed, etc., right? Okay, I think that's actually a good amount. I think it's funny because when I used to create content, when I was starting out to like in 10 years ago range, the expectation was like 15 to 20 minute videos, it felt like. And now really the majority of creators are putting out like 6 to 12 minute videos. But honestly, I think that's a sweet spot, like 8 to 10 minutes. I think it's plenty. I think that's a meaty offer in terms of value.
I'm meaning the advertising part instead of
so on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like a trailer.
Yeah, a little trailer for my OnlyFans, so that way they're like, oh, I want to hear more of this.
So what I would do is I would first off identify so every trailer, and this is something a lot of creators this too, that I noticed, is there's not like a good hook or a good cliffhanger or a good place to end that leaves them wanting more. So if you can identify that in your ASMR content, like where you're almost about to climax and then you cut it off, and then they're going to be like, fuck, I need to subscribe and see the rest. Identify that section of the content or on the ASMR clip, and I would take like 30 seconds to a minute of that to give them enough build up to that climax point where you cut them off. And what I would do is not only make that a trailer for like either your free OnlyFans or your free fan site, or your marketing, but you can utilize that same section and that same audio and put that out on Twitter in the audio feature in your tweets. I would just repurpose the exact same snippets.
Alrighty. Sorry, I know I'm trying to get a lot out of you as well.
That's okay. No worries. No worries.
So I also do live sessions where I do BDSM. I have my own red room that I use. I'm trying to figure out a better way to advertise that I am a dom and offer let's say a daddy dom experience, like you were saying, the girlfriend experience.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try and do that as a dom, where I send out a mass message and say, hey, did you drink your water today? Did you eat? Things like that. Well, how would you do that?
So if I was doing a dom situation, and I have a huge fetish audience on Sex Panther, because that's for me is where kind of that audience for me lives. So I do a lot of that with the messaging on there, and that includes mass messaging too. So I would do something where you send out a mass message, but at the end of either the copy, or if it's just like if you're sending out a video where you're talking and describing what you want them to do, what have you, video, photo, caption, whatever the request, the verbiage or language is in, utilizing that and making sure it ends with a command so that they have to send you something back proving they're doing the task. And then once they do that, they've engaged with you. And then your next order could be in a locked PPV to tell them what to do next. And I would do it in that way.
Okay. How would you do a pricing for that if you wanted to have the daddy dom experience?
So I think it depends on what the requests are, right? So like, say your friend was using example you said. So like you send out a mass message and you're like, did you drink your water today? If you did, I want to see you swallow for me. Like something like that, like make it a little sexual. And then say, I want to see you swallow for me. And then after that, say, send me a video of you doing what you're told. And then the people that are going to engage with this mass message, obviously they're going to reply with that video clip. And once you get that video, they're sending that to you for free. And when you respond with your video clip, I would price it. So I like to start low and then continue on and raise the price, because that's going to get you the gamut of who can afford what at whatever length they can. So like, say you're responding with a video clip saying, I like the way your throat moves when you swallow, whatever. I can imagine myself in it, or something like that, right? We'll keep it naughty. And then you send that for $3.99. And then again, when in that video, when you say that, you're also going to request them to do a next thing, so that they have to re-engage with you back, whether it's written, whether it's sending you a photo, whether it's sending you a clip, they re-engage with you. The next thing you send them with the next command and the next response, you're going to do it at $4.99, and you're going to keep creeping it up. And as you keep creeping the price up with every reply or order that you give them, I would increase the length of the video you're sending them so they feel they're getting value for it. And that's how I would do it. So this way that the fans that can respond to you that are comfortable unlocking at $3.99, $4.99, $5.99, they're still getting an experience, even if they can't keep unlocking past that point. So say they've unlocked three, command videos from you, and then they're out of money, what have you, and they respond with the final request. They do what they're told and say, like, I'm sorry, I actually can't afford to continue, which you can't say all the time. You'd be like, well, I'll reward you for being good, or being a good girl, being good, whatever. And then you send them something that's safe for work, free, selfie, whatever. And then they feel like they've had this awesome experience with you, and that there's a finite end to it, and that you've respected where they are at in their like fan situation with spending. But then the other people who are responding and are comfortable continuing, you can continue down that sending longer clips and sending it for deeper price points. And that's kind of where you start to engage not only different pieces and sections of your audience, but you'll get to know what their spending habits are. And then right there in their notes, like OnlyFans has a note section. Most of these fan platforms have a note section. I would also keep detailed notes like, this user typically stops spending around $4.99, because then you know when you're interacting with that user, you can send stuff at $4.99, and just keeping detailed notes on the experiences you're having with them so that you know those price points and you can work with them in that range. Because the worst thing you can do is send someone something at like $24.99 who's only ever unlocked for $3. They're never going to unlock that message. So you got to kind of cater to where they're at. And in order to do that, you need to know where they're at. So that's how I would do it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. All right. I think that we got Foot Queen. Come back up. You're still a speaker.
Real quick questions. Do you think it makes a difference? Oh, sorry, my voice. I'm getting over a cold. It's horrible. Do you think it's a difference if I were to lock my profile versus leaving it open?
Oh, are you talking for Twitter?
No, OnlyFans.
Oh, what do you mean lock it or leave it? Like a free page versus a paid page?
No, you know how like you go on there, you can make it private to where they can't see what you've actually posted. They just see the number of media versus unlocking it to where anybody that's not subscribed can scroll and see kind of what you've been posting, but not being able to see the media.
Oh, yes. So I think the benefit to that is always let them see more because it's censored, it's blurred, they're not seeing the actual content. But again, we got to think about the fans experience of this kind of OnlyFans dichotomy. For a fan, most creators fans subscribe to, they don't post consistently, they don't post quality, or they don't deliver on what they say they're going to provide in their bio. Like they're not actually giving the experience that they claim they would. So like if you can let them scroll your feed and see all of your posts and even the captions and the copy matters so much because that's making more sales than people realize, that's going to entice them to subscribe. Whereas if you just don't let them scroll and see that, there's nothing proving to them you are doing the content at the amount that you're saying you are, and it just makes it harder for them to trust without having seen that. But I would definitely keep it unlocked in the sense that you're describing.
Okay. I also wanted to ask you what you thought about, because I don't understand why these guys don't interact on OnlyFans. It's like, I spoke to a few other people and it's like the amount of followers they have don't add up to the likes or the comments. It's like they just beat their dick and leave. Like, wait, can a bitch get a like? So I was thinking about kind of like I'm trying to retrain my audience, right? So I want to train them to like and to comment on my posts, because honestly, if you just beating your shit and leaving, I don't know what to keep posting. I don't know what y'all are liking. So that feedback is important to me. So I was thinking about, putting a post, and it's going to be like house rules, and being like, I reward people that engage with my content, that like and comment, and the top people, in the end of the 30 days that like and comment on my post, they get a freebie in their DM. And I was thinking about maybe sending them like a free picture set or a free little JOI video or something. What do you think would be a good idea, or if you think that in general is a good idea?
I think you're on the right path. I think you're making more work for yourself though. So because you're making the reward for it, there's two factors at play when you have a page that's not as well engaged as you'd like. And part of it is training the fans for sure. The other part of it is quality fans, because like a lot of us there's this thing that a lot of creators were doing, myself included, which was like guaranteed gains promo, where it's just like they take your trial link, they shout you out over and over and over until you get the guaranteed amount of fans to your page. But what really ended up happening is that, I got 1,000 fans from the shout out because they posted me over and over and over until the number on my link, my free trial link, hit 1,000. But at the end of the day, I'm still having fans who value free trials coming to my page, which means they're not quality fans. So there's two elements of a problem here, is that most creators, though, especially the ones where you're saying like the numbers don't add up to their likes and comments when they have like 30,000 followers or fans, that's because they have a low quality of fan, typically from those guaranteed gains of those free trial shout outs and promos. So there's two factors. So one, definitely retrain them, but I don't necessarily think you need to have a reward system in place in that way. You could do that in the start and see if it kind of starts to snowball and take off. I think it's something cool to test for sure. Especially because in the foot fetish realm, you're kind of in a fetishy place. Most fetish people like being told what to do to some extent. So it might work better for you than I would think it'd work for me. But something I do is, one, make sure you're engaging back. So the people that do comment, you're commenting back so that's visible so fans can see you engaging back. Another thing is, and I don't know if a lot of creators do this, but I will go through my notifications tab, and everyone that likes, I will right click on their username under the notification says like John Doe liked your post. I'll right click, I'll open their profile in a new tab, and I'll do that for everyone in that notification center. So I'll have like 60 tabs open of all of the users that have liked something. And then I'll go one by one. I'll open the user's tab to their profile. I'll message them. I'll say, thanks for liking my post, babe, whatever. I'll X out of the tab. I'll go to the next user. Thanks for liking my post, whatever. And I'll actually engage back with them because I'm teaching them that is valuable to me. So once a fan sees like you went out of your way to tell them thanks for liking, or thanks for commenting, or thanks for unlocking this post, or thanks for that tip on that post, then they're more better trained to do more of that behavior. So you can do that as well.
So do you think I can add all of them to a list and then later go to that list and send a voicemail and mass send it?
I think that's probably work. Only because adding them to the list, I mean, you can, but are you going to add them to a list every day, delete them from the list just to send a mass message? Like, I don't know if that's more, I don't know their fan count, so I don't know if that's more valuable for your time than going one by one. It kind of depends on the base of people you're working with, like the volume. But you could do it that way too. I don't see why you couldn't do it that way.
Okay, I'm gonna put my hand back down and let the next person speak.
Okay. I don't think there's anyone else. I think we actually got to everyone.
Pleasure got
do
to
you,
stand
It's
up.
just me.
just
I
you.
was gonna say, as a man, um,
Mhm.
whenever somebody posts under their picture to, you know, say or do something, like let's say you post a feet pic or a foot pic, and you're like, oh, well, what did you eat for dinner, or what did you eat for lunch, or something like that. You know, I would respond to that, being told or even asked, because you know, some guys don't like being told. You have some that want to be, you know, asked. Um, that would also help as well from my point of view as a man.
Yeah, no, that's great feedback. You know what? That's another thing too I should mention. So when Pleasure's saying like ask versus told, either way you spin it, and this goes back to copywriting. So in your actual post, the caption you actually use, making sure you have a call to action. So like if I pulled up my page right now on my OnlyFans, every single post that I put out has a CTA or a call to action. So it's either going to say tip this post, comment on this post, like this post, or again, unlock this post. If it's on the free page, it'll say unlock. So having a call to action, it'll always be one of those four, but you're gonna like make them spicier, saucier with the caption you're using. So sometimes I'll say, unlock this post because I'm deleting it in 24 hours, and if you don't, you're missing out. Sometimes I'll say, unlock this, but only if you like being told what to do. Like you can add a caveat to the call to action that makes it more enticing or more seductive. So making sure each post has some kind of call to action, unlock, tip, like, or comment, that's going to drive your engagement up. And something else you can do that I do in literally all of my posts is there's font hacks you can use specifically on OnlyFans to make your call to action stand out. So a lot of people don't realize, and I've done reels on this in the past, but if you are typing something in your post or in your messages on OnlyFans, if you put one asterisk in front of a word and one asterisk after it, it makes the font appear italicized. If you put two asterisks in front of a word or sentence and two asterisks after it, it makes the font bold. And if you put three asterisks in front of a word or sentence and three asterisks after it, it makes the font blue. So what I like to do is I'll emphasize using my font, but I always put the call to action in blue. So if the sentence says, tip this post if you like me in this purple lingerie, tip this post is going to be in blue font. And then the rest is going to be if you like me in this lingerie, because it makes the call to action stand out to them. And then they're more likely to take that behavior. There was 1 month where I made hundreds more than the month prior. And the only thing we changed was making sure each post had a call to action and that each call to action was in blue font. And that was a big like wake up call to me, because I felt shitty asking for tips on posts because they're paying us some price. But reality, like that's sales. If they feel like I'm providing the value that they're signing up to receive, they're going to tip the post and they're going to take the behavior. So that's another thing you can do as well, is kind of play with those font hacks and improve your copy to have the call to action. Go ahead.
How do you make it blue again?
So blue is 3 asterisks, the little star shifts and the little star on the 8 button on your keyboard. And you do 3 of those before the word or the sentence and 3 of those after the word or the sentence. Okay. Nerdy, I'm bringing you up as a speaker. Nerdy Amazon, you have the microphone. I think you're muted right now.
Hello, thank you. I have another question, but real quick, what was 1 asterisk in front and
Oh, so 1 asterisk is before and after is italicized, so like the slanty font. And then 2 before and after is bold, and then 3 is blue.
Okay, appreciate that. And then I might have missed it, but you made a post before about using the chat AI, because I'm terrible about captions. Terrible about you want the pictures, you want the videos, okay, cool. But when it comes to making it fancy and flossy, I just did you ever make the little masterclass that you're talking about with the AI, or is there anything that you can give now that can kind of?
Yeah, I can help now. So so we have a set of courses coming out first on Sex Panther, and then the courses that follow that are coming out will be on the ChatGPT and AI products that you can use for improving your business. But one thing I'll say that it's probably easier. So ChatGPT is a good option, but you can't get away with saying anything spicy with it. You're still gonna have to add that kind of language back in. But it's great for inspiration too. So give me an idea of like what kind of content you create, for example. Like what would be a video you'd be posting? What kind of content it would be?
That's kind of changing right now. For the most part, it's all been just smut, just like solo,
solo play toys, things like that, but I'm really trying to push more towards the femdom stuff that I offer. So
Okay. So obviously you can't say like ChatGPT is not going to spit out anything about like masturbation or sex toys or whatever, but you could write to ChatGPT, for example, let me think here. I would write, what is a persuasive thing to say if you want to take someone to dinner? So it's going to give you something persuasive, meaning it's salesy at some level. Everything is transactional. So persuasive will equal salesy. Way to take someone to dinner. And then let's say that the video or the content you made was something going naughty at dinner or like masturbating at dinner, and you're filming at your house. It's not a real dinner, but you get the idea. Some kind of content like that. I have a whole video of me being in a fake restaurant in my room and being bad under the table, and it's shot under a fake table. So something, let's say it's like that. So you have it write the mainstream copy, a persuasive version of that, and then you take it, spice it up, and use it for your caption, and then you make sure to add a call to action. Something that works really well in terms of taking AI copy or ChatGPT copy, spicing it up in the call to action is using if and then. Because if you're sending this out in a PPV, for example, you want to make sure that they unlock it. So I would say like, if you would take me to dinner and you'd have me for dessert, unlock this post to let me know. So you have the call to action is unlock this post to let me know. And then the if you would, it makes it more relatable to your audience, and then it's going to engage with that content because the content that they unlock will have to do with that thing. So it's almost rewarding them for saying that they would do it. You know what I mean? So you could start there. That's one piece. The other thing is there is a developer version of ChatGPT. So if you go to beta.openai.com/playground, it's going to open a version of ChatGPT that is the developer mode version. It still doesn't like saucy things, but it will write more saucy things. So if you type in there, it's like a white box. It looks kind of similar to ChatGPT. You'll type in what you want. Say, I want a flirty way to persuade someone to take me to dinner. And then it will spit out probably a better version. If you need more assistance, like if you're not great at copywriting, I would start with Playground, because Playground's going to give you a lot more to work with than ChatGPT is because of the censorship that it has on it. So if you're going to want to like play around with writing copy and learning how to write seductive copy, etc., I would start in Playground because it'll give you more. And something else that I noticed helps with writing like sexy copy using the Playground developer version of ChatGPT is to ask it to write you an erotic story instead of asking it to write you this in a sexy way or a caption for a video. So I would say like, write me an erotic story in first person, because we wanted to be first person, where I'm persuading a man to take me to dinner, and that it's going to start writing you that story. It's going to be in first person. So when you take it, it's going to be as if you're saying it directly to the fan because it's in first person. And then you can take that, tweak it, and use that as your caption, and use that for copywriting as well.
You've been dropping gold nuggets all day. What was that? What was that Playground? One more time.
Can you put it in the jumbo?
In the what? How do I even do that?
So pretty much you go over to the corner where the purple button is that says comments. It says 4 comments. You click it, and then you write the website in the comment section, and then you send it, and then you press the share button, and it'll say share to the space.
Thank you for teaching me. You're teaching me, Jan. Okay.
I'm Googling it now, and I can't necessarily find it. And I don't want to put my information in somebody's shit that's trying to steal people's information.
I got you. beta.openai.com and then /playground. And then you said tweet it, and then it's going to give me an option?
Yeah, tweet it in the space. So you see over in the right hand, you see the purple bubble that says 4. That's the comments. You click that, and then it'll say sexy words. Sexy is the comment section for our space. And then you type in something, and then you press reply, like I just did. And then there's a little share button, and it says share to Sex Work CEO. So you'll see in the Jumbotron, I just put something up there. Well, I don't see it now, but I did. Okay, hold on. Let me go see.
I added it in the comment. I don't see a place to add it to the thing, though.
Okay, so press the share. Oh, I see it right here. I'm finna do it for you. Sex Work CEO. The little share icon in the corner of the tweet that you just tweeted, you know, the little 3 dots with the lines, you click it, and at the top it says Sex Work CEO space, and you click that, and it'll share to the Jumbotron. Do you see it?
Thank you for teaching me some shit. Yeah. Did I do it? I think I did.
Yep. Look in the Jumbo.
I see it. I see yours too. Perfect. Thank you for that. Love that. Been looking for how to figure that out.
It took me forever. Somebody had to walk me through it.
This is the most valuable space that I've been in for being stuck lately. Thank you. Love that. Okay, and then Sedusa, we'll bring you up the speaker. All right, the floor is yours.
Gotta leave the room. Some underage ears around. I just been listening to the space, and to be honest, I've been kind of like trying to work on like my different platforms while I've been listening, and I just appreciate everybody who has come up, you for hosting the space, and everybody who has come up with all of these questions, because OnlyFans is something that I've had since 2021, and I have not maximized it to my ability, and I have honestly been so lost on how to do anything there, and listening to all of you today is giving me a lot more freedom to think in my mind on what I can do to gain more fans and to earn more money. So I just want to give a special heartfelt thank you to all of you for having the energy to be in this space today. I love all of you.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. That's so freaking sweet. No, I love that. And that's the whole reason we do stuff like this. And honestly, I learn from you guys so much that y'all come up and share things as well. And also the questions, like, I don't play in a lot of the same content spaces as like erotic ASMR. I've done one of those in my life, but erotic ASMR or foot fetish, it's like those are small parts of my business. So even being asked on like how to do things differently or how to, function if you're coming from a clip site space, like it also is a exercise for me and how I would navigate it if I were doing that. Because I don't think of things in that way because that's not what I produce in the content I make. So no, it's beneficial to me, and I'm so glad you're getting value from it.
Yes, because I double as a film dom and an erotic artist. I write erotic poetry, and I like to perform erotic stories online, or I just like to give something sexy to listen to. And so because I have both of those from one page, because I really don't want to scatter myself more, and it offers variety on my page, and now you and others have given me different ways to use the PPV and how to actually promote instead of just dropping the content and expecting the money flow. It's really about teasing them into a bigger sale because it is sales.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then that's been the biggest takeaway in the things I've seen. So I opened up, and this is not a sales pitch because I honestly don't think I'm going to keep doing it, but I've opened up for a couple creators to do mentorship just so I can kind of see where creators around the 3,000 monthly income mark are struggling. And just so I can draw a conclusion of like, okay, what videos could I be putting out on YouTube that are going to help this niche of creators the most? Because I think that's kind of what our audience is like that pain point mark.
Yes.
And it's all about the sales and PPVs. So it's given me such a good insight on like what direction to take things, because I think a lot of creators think that what they're selling is the subscription, but really the subscription is kind of where you get the audience and the, I guess the community.
Right.
And then you're really upselling, because think of like anything that you sell, like, you see like these coaches that sell like Facebook ad courses, for example, what they really sell you on is like, hey, join my free webinar. And then you give them your email and you join their webinar, and they give you enough to kind of start a Facebook ad business or whatever. But then they upsell you on a course that's going to hold your hand and walk you through the process beginning to end. And that's really the sales pitch. But like, I kind of think our OnlyFans should be structured in that way, where like the subscription is the entry to see the content and what I do and what my experience is like. But the PPVs is the top of the line experience that you're going to get with me. So I don't think creators should be afraid to upsell and be salesy. Like even just the language, telling a fan to tip me or unlock this or, like this or respond to this. Just that language alone it makes such a big difference. And really all the time when it comes from PPVs, like I've run my page a variety of different ways. I love to honestly burn it to the ground and start over just to test new things, because like that's what I find exciting.
Yeah.
But whenever I do that, I'm always blown away because the numbers for me always come from PPVs. Always.
That's good to know. I'm going to use that to maximize for my own sake, because you guys have dropped a lot of knowledge today. I've been on my sticky notes on my computer, like trying to type every single thing that I can manage to listen to transcribe at the same time.
I love that. No, we're going to start turning these into blogs on our website for Sex with CO2. So even if you visit, in our bio link too, you have, there's it makes a playlist of our past spaces. So if you go on our bio link and click Twitter playlist, it'll have all our past spaces, so you can always refer back to it.
Yay, that's so perfect. Okay, and I'm going to step down from the mic now, but thank you so much. And to everybody, thank you.
I love y'all.
We love you too. All right, Foot Queen, you want to come back up? And then I have one more request here.
I'll go ahead and take the other request first.
See that request? Okay, no worries. Let me bring you up, Andy Ray, as speaker. And you should have the mic here any second. Did I lose you? I think I lost her. Maybe she'll pop back in. Maybe she didn't have good connection. You can take it away, Foot Queen.
Okay, I just wanted to say, like I said previously, my OnlyFans used to just be a side hustle for me, something that I threw content on. I didn't have any marketing strategy. People would just come subscribe, and for their subscription price, they would get access to my stuff. But it really takes you thinking about this from a business perspective to maximize on your money, like being responsive to people that's messaging you, really taking those opportunities of these people being online and being horny to make money off of them. And like I said, I've been doing my pay-per-view thing for the last 3 weeks. And it's been working, and I'm looking at this pay-per-view, this really weird pay-per-view. It's not even something that I usually would do. And I was like, let me just see if they would buy it. And so I did the pay-per-view, and I've gotten 13 unlocks in the last, when I posted about 5 hours ago, which is amazing. And this is something that I would have just posted on my shit for free. So if people are willing to pay for what they want. And I think a lot of us are scared of being salesy because we don't want to run off people. But bitch, this is a business. This is how you make your income right here. You have to be salesy. Like, you have to market to these people.
I think that, so like salesy, like that term, for some reason, not for some reason, I know why. It gets a bad rap because a lot of people think about like either MLM salesy or like car salesman or like things we associate with like a negative connotation, or I'm saying that word wrong, but you know what I'm saying. In reality, like everything, and I hate to say this because it sounds like so cold, but everything in life is transactional, whether it is you're trading time for happiness, you're trading sacrificing something you love for someone you love. Everything is transactional, and that comes down to sales too. And you're right, this is a business, but there's a way to do it and that is ethical and moral and feels good. The only time it will ever not feel good to sell someone something is if you know you're not delivering on your end of it. So like, and I caution that because if you give fans or users a bad experience, they don't come back. And it is so hard for us to drive traffic to our platforms that when you get it there, you want to make sure you're providing them a great experience so that they continue to stay. And a lot of creators, like they shortcut the experience they provide because making content is hard and it's exhausting, and replying to messages is hard and it's exhausting. But honestly, being a content creator is a job, and it's not always going to be easy. You're not always going to feel like doing it. That's just, I don't find that that's the reality of this business. And if you're treating it like a business, it will pay you like a business. But if you're treating it like a hobby, it's not going to do that. So like making sure that if you don't want to feel bad about selling someone something, that you are confident in what you're selling. Like, even because my background is mainstream sales, like I've sold everything. I was an MLM, I've done all of that. But I don't feel bad when I sell someone something that I believe in. Like, I don't feel bad, even though I'm not selling courses to online creators. Like, I don't have a course for sale right now or anything, but I don't feel bad putting out the information because I've tested it and I know there's results behind it. So if you feel good about what you're selling and you're pitching, and you know that you're providing what you say you are and you're going to give the experience you say you are, you should never feel bad about selling it. And then there's also, in terms of like fan experience, like whenever a fan, for me, purchases a custom, you know, whatever the length of minutes is that they purchase, I know when I send that fan that custom, I'm adding a minute on. Not because I have to, not because it was easy for me to film or it made editing easier, but because if I over give the value, that fan's going to buy another custom. And on top of that, I'm going to get it to them in 24 to 48 hours because I know other creators won't. So that fan's experience on my page is going to be better than 3 or 6 of the other creators they're following and getting attention from, because I'm giving them a better experience. And then when it comes down to when money's tight or they have to crunch numbers around Christmas, I'm the fan page that they're going to stay sub to versus the other creators who aren't delivering. So like, it just gives you a competitive advantage to be good at what you're doing. Like that really is what it comes down to. You should never feel bad about selling something that you know is worth what you're selling. And if you believe in what you're doing and you think you did your best at it, you shouldn't feel bad about selling it. Okay, we got Nerdy. Nerdy, let me bring you back up.
Okay, so how do you decide, and I know everybody is different, but what is your best advice for pricing content?
In general, or like in PCDs, I'm assuming?
Kind of both. Because I have Sex Panther, which I haven't been working super hard. I've had an OnlyFans for a while, but again, I haven't pushed that super hard. I live stream more than anything. Like I'm live every night on Stream 8. So I'm just now kind of pushing more into the content side of it. So pricing on videos on just in general.
Okay, so there's two, I want to say two things because now that I know you're primarily live streamer, keep in mind, obviously every time you do a show, record it because that's content. But also you're almost in two different business models, right? So live streaming is you're trading your time for the money and the money's not guaranteed, versus into content and media, you're trading 10 minutes or an hour of your time to film the content and then people will buy it for the rest of forever. That is the life of the content, the life you host an OnlyFans or a clip site or what have you. So that's why I like to tell creators or stress that content creation is almost always a better use of time than going live, only with the exception of getting new audience, like expanding your community, building your audience. Live stream is phenomenal at that. So it's typically a hybrid model where you're doing some kind of live streaming, meeting new people, getting new fans, along with content creation is a really nice sweet spot because your business will always be growing, even if you don't have a great source of traffic or lead generation, or if you don't have massive socials, for example, because those sites do send you traffic, even though it's not phenomenal all the time. It's something. But anyway, to your question about pricing, it's not going to be an answer most people listening want to hear, but it's really testing, trial and error. So like when I went back through all my Sex Panther analytics, for one example, I noticed that they have so Sex Panther people don't really know, but they do have a feed feature similar to OnlyFans where people can unlock stuff. So if you're not online, they can still unlock content, they can still view content, you can still make new fans that way. So for example, my pricing on Sex Panther, based on the data of what people had been unlocking for the last year, told me that most people unlock my videos there on the feed for like $6 to $8. So that dictates my pricing there. But when I'm going back and forth and messaging with a fan live on Sex Panther, like when they're texting, they're for some reason willing to pay $12 to unlock a minute-long clip because it's in real time. And that value of like, I want you to say this and say my name when you show me your tits or whatever, and getting that clip literally 2 minutes later because we're in a more of a texting scenario and situation, I can price that way higher. And they don't mind paying for it because they know it's real, they know it's me, and they know it's actually happening right now. And then versus OnlyFans, and then I'm going to do clip sites next, versus OnlyFans, if you can make the experience feel real time in DMs, you can price higher. If you're sending out mass messages and they feel to the fan like a mass message, you can't price as high because they know they're not getting a one-on-one experience. And then you flip that over to a clip site business model where your prices are your prices, and that is directly reflective of the marketplace of the clip store you're on. So like if you're a fetish creator and you're on Clips for Sale, you're going to be able to price things in a market that the fetish creators on Clips for Sale price them at. So that's a matter of going to the top creators, like looking for if there's a leaderboard or if there's a way to see who's the top creator on that site, whether it be ManyVids, whether it be Clips for Sale, whatever this clip store is, and seeing what the top people are pricing and pricing competitively in those same price points. So it depends where you're putting the content. For PPVs, trial and error, see what's getting you the most unlocks. And also make sure you're also evaluating the caption you wrote when you got that many unlocks. Was it a great caption? Is that what made this work? Was it the type of content that they knew they were going to see on the other side? Or was it the fact that I priced it at this price point? A lot of people just think price points don't work, but they have weak copy. They have weak sales copy. That doesn't make people want to unlock it. If I send out a video for $14.99, let's say it's a 8-minute video, and I say, writing video from camping last weekend. And that's why I say, like, okay, people are going to be maybe interested in that, but it's not a super sexy caption. But if I say, sneakily, or I got caught riding cock in my tent at my campsite, if you wish it were you, unlock this. That's a call to action. That's a more seductive copy, and that's going to get more unlocks. So you have to also dictate, depending on where you're pricing these things, what business model you're using, if it is dependent on the copy, the content, or the price, and then looking at the statistics and deciding what price point is most lucrative for you. So it's always going to come back to trial and error, and it's always going to come back to analyzing the data and also the marketplace you're selling it on. So if it's at a clip store, pricing it against the market on the clip store. If it's in your PPVs, looking at your data, seeing what gets the most unlocks, and seeing if it's a factor of price, copy, or content. And then if it's something like Sex Panther, looking at your data for what got you the most unlocks. Is it the price, copy, or content? And then if you're doing one-on-one messaging in DMs or in Sex Panther, like text messaging, knowing that real time, real content feel is going to be more valuable, and you can price it higher. So that's a big answer. And I'm sorry, it's not like one size fits all at all, but that's how I would approach pricing.
Oh, no, that was phenomenal. Like, I'm over here still writing notes. I appreciate it.
You're so sweet. Yeah, so Queen, come back and
really quick, you on your paid page, when you tell people to tip you, what did you used to do again? Can you explain it again? When you ask
like
for tips?
For the, like in the post, you mean?
Yeah, on the post.
Okay, so I will make it typically a good one that you can always fall back on is if and then statements. So like, if you like this, tip this or if you like this lingerie, then tip this post to let me know. So if and then statements. Something else you could say, like, if it doesn't have to be lingerie, but if you would follow directions, then tip this post and I'll DM you a JOI just for you. And like, you know, like you can use that if and then, you can change the language, but as long as you have that call to action, and again, making it blue with that font hat, 3 asterisks before and after, that's going to also help improve the unlock or the tip.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All of the information that we put out here on Sex Work CEO, it's free because we believe in this idea of financially successful creators are going to better impact our community, and having more resources will allow us to do things like lobby Congress, you know, impact policy and make change. So if you do value the content and the things you heard today and like the tweets we put out, please engage with us. Please share. We want to impact as many adult creators as we possibly can. The only ask is that you retweet and share our stuff as much as humanly possible. So thank you so much in advance. And beyond that, this is going to conclude. Next week is going to be entirely about making data-driven decisions, understanding your analytics, and then making improvements like a business owner. So I hope that interests you, and I hope I can see you guys all again. It would be absolutely incredible if you rated this podcast 5 stars and left a little review. We want to get this podcast to as many adult creators as possible, and you taking a second to leave a couple stars and a review really helps us do that. Thanks so much. If you missed the space, you can always click the link in our bio and see our complete library of past spaces, and you can always tune in after the fact. So don't ever be afraid. If you're going to miss it, it'll always be out there in the ether for you. So that being said, again, I'm MelRose Michaels, adult industry creator myself. Sex Work CEO's mission is just to make as many creators as financially secure as possible. If you're not following our socials, Twitter, Instagram, at Sex Work CEO, TikTok, and YouTube /SWCEO. And then if you're a fan of what we do, make sure you share. And thank you guys so much. This was an amazing space. I'm obsessed with this space. Thank you so much for participating. Love y'all, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Who misses free and affordable ads without the anti-sex work rhetoric? Assembly 4 is a team of sex workers and technologists from Melbourne, Australia, aiming to bring back free and fair advertising to the sex work community. They also give back to organizations based in harm reduction, sex work, and education. Stepping away from the clunky design of traditional platforms, their platform, Tris.link, is a refreshing and well-needed change in both presentation and mission. It's free to join and open to all. In the words of an A4 user, from the policies to the language to the advice and tips, it makes such a big difference to feel supported and encouraged instead of policed.